there's room also for understanding and talking about the dynamics that these institutions have put in those of us who they raised. So the fundamentalism, the conservatism, the extremism, all of it, it's a traumatic process to make people like that. You can't raise a fundamentalist child without abuse. Hi, my name is Clara. Welcome to my channel. So I'm an artist. And most of what I've been posting here has been talking about my deconstruction, sort of. More the art that I am making and the art that I've made in the past to help with my deconstruction. And I have a lot that I want to share, that I've been wanting and trying to share. But it's hard to overcome the desire to be perfect, that need to get it right and not say the wrong thing, or not, the being above reproach thing that is so hard to shake. So now's the time, right? Like, of all the times, the time when it's important to talk about all the shit that Christian nationalism has done and is trying to do right now. And they've been working on this for a very, very long time, since long before I was born. Basically, since before my mom was born. This is a long story, in a sense, that we are all now currently a part of and have been dragged into, and it's very interesting. I know a lot of people are aware of the base that our the base that Trump has, being Christian evangelicals, white Christian evangelicals primarily, though I think you would find a lot of the overlap of conservative voting that is from people who are not white. I think most of those fall into that evangelical little circle as well, but we don't have to get into that. The thing is, I don't think a lot of people who are at the forefront of talking about the current political meltdown that we are in are aware of how long people have been working on this, how long and how deeply indoctrinated those who are participating in it are. So in addition to being a artist, posting about stuff, I currently don't have a website, don't make any money at that, but my job is as a outdoor farm educator. I teach kids about ecology, about permaculture, about wild plants, kind of anything I can do, I can teach and share, because I love this stuff with them at my job. It's cooperatively, or it's a CSA farm, and it's lovely, and I get to just share my passion for nature and farming and ecology and gardening and plants and wildlife and everything with the kids, and I love it, and it's fabulous. And I do have one little vlog I made like a year ago, I don't know, about that, if you want to check that out. And I sometimes like to weave in little things that I filmed there as well into my other videos, and I think I also will probably share more of that. It doesn't really matter. That's what I do. That's my job. It's awesome, and it definitely does inform my perspective and how I see everything going on right now. Additionally, I also got partially through my degree in child psychology. I am very, very passionate about child development, human development, learning, as well as trauma and healing from trauma. Those have kind of been the focuses of my studying, my passion, just the way I like to learn and spend my time involves those things. So all of that, the ecology, the psychology, art, play into the way I see things and the way my deconstruction has gone as well. I was raised very fundamentalist. It was a conservative, charismatic upbringing. So yeah, I probably haven't seen the recent report that came out about IHOP Kansas City and Mike Bickle, but that's something I have a lot more to talk about because my church was basically kind of taken over a little bit by IHOP. Not officially, but the doctrine and teaching and ideology of that place overwhelmed and took over the church that I grew up in. And that happened, we're getting close to 15 years ago now. So, no, I think we are at, holy shit, we're past 15 years now. Over 15 years ago. So, there is a lot there as well. That's been fun to deal with in the middle of all of this political insanity. That's sarcasm, obviously. It has not been that fun, but it's been interesting. So, I plan to talk about that soon. And if you have questions, like, hit me up, let me know. Ask whatever you want to ask. I haven't filmed that yet. But this shit is crazy. And these pastors, these churches have been in absolute meltdown for the past couple of years. And I don't know if it doesn't seem like that's been quite on everybody's radar as much. Though if you're here and you also have your religious trauma that you're healing from, you might also be aware and frustrated that other people aren't talking about it a little more, because it's pretty crazy how many pastors, like massive mega church, extremely well known, have published tens of books, kind of people, have recently been found to be predators and abusers and a multitude of other very illegal, very disgusting things. So that's been happening while they're trying to also take over the country. So that's a lot. And I want to talk about that stuff too. There's just so much going on that someone who has escaped this stuff sees differently. At least I do. I see a lot happening. I also see a lot of shots people aren't taking, I guess. I don't know. It's complicated. In the middle of all the panic and the fear, because there's been a lot of that, I've also been feeling like really empowered in a way. Like there's this sense of resolve that I have, and determination, and just fury and rage that I'm excited to use to fight back. And I really have so much to say, so much I've been wanting to say for so long. And I guess now's the time. Now I am at some kind of breaking points because they can't do this. And the more of us that join in to say, no, you can't do this, this is not okay, and the more of us that can share ways to resist and ways to push back and not comply, the better. Also, I think there's room also for understanding and talking about the dynamics that these institutions have put in those of us who they raised. So the fundamentalism, the conservatism, the extremism, all of it, it's a traumatic process to make people like that. You can't raise a fundamentalist child without abuse. It's just a fact. So yeah, the type of trauma that they are continually inflicting on their people is something also I think that I want to talk about, and that will be discussed further. Again, if you have any questions regarding this, ask away in the comments. I love that kind of feedback and like idea of what people want to hear about or have addressed. Okay. I have my notes. Okay. So also, like, with that frustration and rage, there's also this sense of like, I'm ready for this. I have been trying to heal this trauma my whole life. I have been trying to understand the way these people think and the reasoning behind what they're doing my entire life, because it never made sense. And so with that, 32 years of bafflement actually has come some understanding. So there are a lot of things that I actually can explain and do understand about how these people think, their attempts at logic, and the like, just the general rationale or lack of behind what they're doing. Like, I know where it comes from. I know the Bible verses they are drawing from. I know the Bible verses that push back against what they're trying to do as well, and all of that stuff. So in so many ways, I just kind of feel ready for this. There's a lot of fear, especially of like backlash and stuff, but I can't keep living in that fear anymore. So they've kept me quiet for long enough, and look out, because I am ready. So let me give you some hope, some ideas of like how we can push back, fight back, how we can go on the offense even. And again, like, this isn't advice on like how to stop what Elon is doing. It's not gonna fix that. Listen to people who, you know, can push you to call your senators or like protest and stuff. That's not my expertise. But let me tell you about these bastards, okay? So, first of all, with the world they are trying to create right now, it's not a world that exists. It's a fantasy. And collapse and resistance to it is inevitable, because it is truly not sustainable, or even I believe possible, to create the ideals and the world that they are trying to create. These people are incapable of creating it, even within the things and the people that they have in their own power. And that's actually really comforting. The church, the evangelical church especially in the United States, has been hemorrhaging people, has been bleeding people for decades now. They are not even capable of keeping their own. So it's kind of hilarious that they think they can force an entire country of freedom, liberty, America, you know, people to do this, to give up their rights, their freedoms, their ability to express themselves, to just lay down and say, yes, okay, fine, I won't be trans anymore. Just don't, just take me. Like, what? That's not gonna happen. That's as stupid as thinking like someone could just take all the guns, you know? But they believe that too, so that's what we're dealing with. Yeah, resistance is inevitable because it creates resistance. This kind of oppressive ideology, it doesn't even work in their own families, in their own homes, where they can literally force children to be what they want them to be. Even in those families, this doesn't work. So resistance is inevitable. We just have to resist in the ways that are best for us and that are our strengths. So this is me right now, my attempted resistance. No, this is me resisting. I'm talking bluntly about what these people are like, what they are trying to do. And yeah, it's not gonna work. They don't understand people. They don't understand cause and effect. They don't understand consequences, even, really. Um, this gives us a lot of leeway, a lot of power, in the sense of there are going to be, no matter what kind of power they end up getting temporarily, there are going to be so many gaps, so many holes, so many ways that they are not even capable of predicting or imagining another way of doing it, or another type of resistance, or another type of fighting back. To them, it's just total control means you've won. And nothing actually has total control. That's absolutely an illusion or a delusion. It's never reality. Total control doesn't exist. Even internally, even as a person, I don't have total control over myself. My body's doing what my body's doing. I'm not telling it to digest or to breathe. I don't have total control. They don't have total control either over anything. The other thing is, you've, I'm sure, noticed the fragility. These are some of the most fragile people. We've been talking about this for a long time, laughing at the fact that, like, they call us snowflakes and yet they can't handle anything. So we can use that. Poke at their fragility, make them crack. Laugh at them. It's funny. Like, we need joy, we need humor. We have to be able to laugh through this, as, like, horrifying as everything is. And that's another way. The fragility is going to be a massive part of their downfall. Their empires are collapsing, I think, is a big thing we need to recognize. Is like, this is a grasp for power because they have been losing power. Not in the sense of like, oh, we've lost control over women's bodies, so we need it back. I mean, there's some of that going on, but like, ultimately it is more about the fact that they can't even keep their own flock, their own kids in their churches. They think creating these laws is going to make America a utopia for Christians. They think it's going to mean Jesus will come back. They think that somehow this is creating end times, revelation, good. They don't even agree on any of this, so don't worry about it making sense. It doesn't. And they all have a different take on how this has to play out. There isn't unity in the sense that we think there is unity. It's just that common sense of we're right, they're wrong, and we have to control. It's just that. So there's a lot of room and a lot of ways we can exploit that. We can push back against that. Like, it's never going to be over. The type of world they're trying to create is unsustainable in itself, just like apartheid is unsustainable. This is unsustainable. A fascist regime is doomed to fall because nature and fascism can't coexist, and we're nature. So it's not gonna work. And also, what I have to keep remembering is that, like, this has to happen for something better to be able to be born. Not this specifically has to happen, but collapse has to happen for something better to be born. And it's actually good in a lot of ways that we are having to confront and having to see how broken and how broken the system is, or how exploitive the system is, how this system is built off of our subjugation, our labor, our lack of ability to access the wealth we create through our work, our lack of ability to invest in our own future, our own lives, our own humanity. We have to realize that we cannot count on the leadership, the elite, the billionaires. We can't count on them to save us, to do the right thing, to follow the law, like to do any of it. We can't count on them. We have to figure out another way. We have to take back power in a different way or something. The future is absolutely unset, absolutely nebulous. Anything could happen here. But there's no way a government with such a shaky and embarrassing start can last. And they do think they're starting a new thing. This isn't just about like changing. This is a fucking coup. I mean, people have been saying that. In their minds, this is a revolution. It's a collapse they are happy about because they think it's gonna lead to like Jesus coming back and them getting to go to paradise forever. So don't expect logic, don't expect rationale, don't expect solutions from these people. I think the best thing we can do is just do what we have to do and hope they catch up. Yeah. And that's hard, and I'm there with you. One of my parents does not believe reality is reality and thinks that like Musk is a savior and Trump is the Messiah. So it's bad. There is some really ridiculous things that people believe right now. And I don't know if it's ever gonna click. But we can't wait around, and we can't like be quiet because it might make them mad. So yeah, gotta fight it. Gotta stay fiery and defiant and hopeful. This has to happen for a loving and equitable and just world to be born. So we're the ones that are gonna save us. We're the ones that are gonna create what's next. So that's exciting. It can be anything. So if you're frozen and you find that you can't do anything, which I get, I've had days, multiple days in a row even like that since all of this, since the election really. It's but especially since the inauguration, it's been a lot of like good day, bad day, good day, bad day, bad day, bad day, bad day, good day, like it's okay. It's okay. We're human. We're not robots. And I think that's part of the problem too, is like we're expecting ourselves to just be machines, and like even machines have to turn off sometimes. Even machines can't run forever. So like you're human. Let yourself be human. And imagine what's next. Imagine something good. Like practice your imagination. Practice your positive imagination. That's revolutionary in so many ways because we have been fed an endless stream of dystopian and trauma and just like rough ass stuff. We've been conditioned to dream, to imagine in a worrying way. So positive imagining is resistance, and that's something you can do in bed or frozen on the couch. So yeah, practice that if you can't do anything else, and then that will continue. That's building new neural pathways. Hope and positive imagining is so powerful actually for healing and for it's like the groundwork for the good stuff you want to do later. So, yeah, I guess that's it, at least for now. Yeah, I want to post more. I'm going to probably be posting just talking to the camera somewhat like this, little tiny microphone rants. We'll see. I've got a lot I want to share. I'm so slow at editing and I don't really like it, so I have a hard time prioritizing it, but I'm trying to build new habits and get more proactive at this. And I've been talking longer than I wanted to, so I'm going to stop now. All right. We are strong. We are alive at this time, so that means we're supposed to be here and we have something to contribute. And we're going to make it. We've survived worse in a lot of ways. So, yeah, we're going to be okay. Dream better and have a good one. I'll be back soon.